going to read you all my story called Super Syrup. Hopefully this story will help all children when it's time to take cough syrup. Sarah woke up early in the morning feeling very sick. She had a sore throat, headache, and could barely breathe out of her nose. On top of all of those symptoms, she was burning up and knew it was a fever. I can't let Mom see me like this. She'll make me miss school today for sure, Sarah thought. Sarah was excited about going to school today because her class was going on a field trip to the zoo. When Sarah heard her mother coming from down the hall, she jumped up and gathered her clothes in a hurry. Good morning, Sarah's mother smiled. Good morning, Mom, Sarah replied. She tried to cover her face so that her mother couldn't see the redness, but it was too late. You don't look so good. Are you feeling okay? Mom asked as she reached out to touch Sarah's forehead. I feel fine, Sarah quickly replied. Honey, you're burning up. You'll have to miss school today, Mom decided. No, Sarah cried out as she shook her head over and over again. After Sarah's mother took her temperature and called her school to let them know that she would not be attending, she made Sarah get back into bed. I know you don't want to miss your field trip, but it's important that you get better. I'll have Dad whip you up some of his special soup, and I have cough syrup that will get you better in no time, Mom said. Okay, Sarah sadly replied. Sarah's mother left the room to gather up her home remedies. Sarah sat in bed daydreaming about her class and how much fun everyone would have at the zoo. She turned on the television to watch cartoons, and this made her feel a little better. Shortly after, Dad came into her room with soup. Good morning, Sarah. I brought you some of my soup and Mom's cough syrup, said Dad. Thanks, Dad, Sarah replied. You're welcome. Mom will be in shortly to give you your medicine. Sarah's father put the soup and cough syrup on a tray next to her bed and walked out. Sarah did not like the taste of cough syrup at all. She absolutely did not want to take it. The soup smelled very delicious. Sarah couldn't wait to dig in, but it was too hot. While she patiently waited for the soup to cool off, she stared at the cough syrup, remembering the disgusting taste, and frowned at the bottle. Suddenly, Sarah heard a voice ask, Are you frowning at me? She looked all around. Who said that? Well, what did you frown at? The voice asked. Sarah looked over at the cough syrup and couldn't believe her eyes. There was a face, arms, and legs on the bottle. Ah! Sarah screamed. The cough syrup shook his hands. Don't be frightened. I'm no threat. I'm just here to help you get better. That's all. Sarah began rubbing her eyes to see if she was awake, and she was. The talking cough syrup was still standing there. Sarah's mother ran into her room quickly and asked, Is everything all right? I heard you scream. It talks, Mom! Sarah yelled as she pointed at the medicine bottle. Sarah looked at the bottle and saw that by this time the face, arms, and legs had disappeared. Mom, you have to believe me! It was just talking! Shouted Sarah. Sarah, I know how much you dislike taking cough syrup, but you don't have to make things up. You have to take it so that you can feel better, Mom explained. But Mom! Sarah cried. That's enough, honey. Eat your soup and I'll be back in 20 minutes to give you your medicine, Mom ordered as she walked out of Sarah's room, closing the door behind her. Sarah slowly turned her head to look at the bottle, and to her surprise, the cough syrup came back to life. Hello, my dear. I'm Super Syrup, said the bottle. Nobody can see me, only you. Nice to meet you, Sarah replied as she gave Super Syrup a nervous smile. Super Syrup jumped and danced all around Sarah's room, and she began to laugh. Now, she was excited about the talking cough syrup. She knew no one would believe her, but she wouldn't let that take away her joy. Sarah pretended that she was a ballerina and joined Super Syrup. She grabbed his hands, and they began spinning in circles all around her room. After a while, they stopped and continued laughing together. Super Syrup looked at Sarah. Sarah, why don't you like taking me? I just don't like the taste of medicine. I don't understand how something that's supposed to be good for you tastes so disgusting. Yuck, Sarah frowned. Super Syrup sighed. I understand. I'll admit, a countless number of kids don't like taking me, but I really will help you out. You're really disappointed because you didn't get to go to the zoo with your class, right? Yes, I am, Sarah sadly replied. Well, if you take me, I'm sure your class will have more field trips and fun things planned in the near future. Sarah shook her head. I just don't want to take you. Even though you probably will make me feel better, I just don't want to. Super Syrup looked at Sarah and asked, Does your throat hurt? Sarah cleared her throat, then answered, Yes, it does. Super Syrup continued, Is it hard to breathe out of your nose? Sarah took a deep breath. Yes, it is. Super Syrup shook his head. Okay, last question. Does your head hurt? Sarah shook her head yes. Well, I can get rid of all of those symptoms and get you back to school with your teacher and friends in no time. Sarah smiled as she thought about her friends and teacher. Well, I do really miss them and I know they are having a blast at the zoo together. I have so much fun with them and I would hate to miss another day of school. Maybe I should just take you. Super Syrup flashed a big smile. Yes, you should. I'll have you better in no time. Sarah, here's what I want you to do before you take me. Think about your favorite juice or milkshake and pretend that I am it. Then swallow it down as fast as you can. That way, you won't even remember the taste because you'll still be thinking about that juice or shake. Sarah smiled. I love apple juice and chocolate shakes. I do too, Super Syrup grinned. I also have a song that I want you to sing before you take me, Super Syrup revealed. Yay! I love songs, shouted Sarah. Great! Just repeat after me. Super Syrup began to sing. Now, we're going to show you the dance that goes along with the medicine song. Are you ready, Alexis?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. 1, 2, 3, go. We're marching.
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 Oh, medicine, I do not like your taste. But I know if I take you, I'll feel really great. Oh, medicine, I do not like your taste. But I know if I take you, I'll feel really great. Oh, medicine, I do not like your taste. But I know if I take you, I'll feel really great.
Sarah repeated the song over and over again, and she couldn't stop. She absolutely loved it. Thanks, Super Syrup. You really are super, Sarah giggled as she gave Super Syrup a big hug. You're welcome, Sarah. I'm glad I could help you. I have to leave now to help other children in need of encouragement. But always remember and never forget, imagination can be a powerful thing if you know how to use it. Super Syrup took a bow and disappeared. Sarah waved goodbye and began eating her soup. Once all of her soup was gone, she continued watching cartoons. Now, she was very excited about taking her cough syrup. Sarah's mother finally came back to give Sarah her medicine. All right, Sarah, please cooperate with me. I know you don't like medicine, Mom said. She was so used to Sarah hesitating when it was time to take cough syrup. Don't worry, Mom, I'm ready, Sarah giggled. Sarah's mother was stunned and couldn't believe her ears. Sarah did exactly what Super Syrup told her to do. She closed her eyes and imagined a tall glass of cold apple juice and a chocolate milkshake on a hot summer day. Then she began singing. Oh, medicine, I do not like your taste, but I know if I take you, I'll feel really great. Sarah opened wide as her mother put a spoonful of the cough syrup into her mouth and quickly swallowed. Yummy! It tastes just like a chocolate shake, Sarah laughed. I'm so proud of you, sweetie, Mom exclaimed. Now you can get some rest. Sarah laid her head on her pillow and went straight to sleep. The next morning, Sarah woke up feeling much better. All of her symptoms were gone, just like Super Syrup promised they would be. She went back to school, and all of her friends told her about how much fun they had at the zoo. Sarah was happy that everyone had such a great time. Even though Sarah had her own fun with Super Syrup, she decided to keep it to herself. Everyone was glad to see Sarah feeling better, and she was happy too. That weekend, Sarah's parents surprised her with a trip to the zoo. Sarah was ecstatic. Her parents knew how disappointed she was about missing her field trip with her class. Sarah's mother turned to her and said, "Sarah, I'm so proud of you. You took your medicine and kept a positive attitude even though you didn't want to miss your field trip." "Thanks, Mom and Dad. I love you," Sarah smiled as she gave her parents a hug.
"We love you too. Now, who wants a chocolate shake?"
Dad chuckled. They all burst out laughing. Sarah never forgot about Super Syrup and kept him in mind whenever she got sick and had to take cough syrup. Sarah forgot how disgusting she thought medicine was. According to her imagination, it tasted just like juice and shakes. Sarah was glad to know that Super Syrup would help other children take their medicine just like he helped her. The